that it stays 1400 years ago.
Well, child marriage is absolutely part of Islam. There is just no doubt about it. I had a recent Muslim apologist who liked to kind of refute my work, who basically told me publicly that it is not child rape, that it is not a violation of a child, because how is it child rape if there is parental consent? If the parents consent to it, then how is it child rape? That's basically an excuse. That's a response that I recently received from a Muslim apologist who really means it, and who is a scholar in Islamic matters. This is completely.
There are parents that rape their children. Like, has he never heard of fathers that rape their own daughters?
Yeah.
So is that okay then, because the father approved it?
Absolutely. What kind of logic is that? The point stands. I mean, that is entirely Islamic. I made huge videos and articles about how child marriage comes from Islam. It comes directly from the Prophet of Islam, who, when he was 53 years old, was married to a 9-year-old girl whom he married when she was only 6 years old.
6, yeah.
Yeah. And
so everything you're saying is true. And you were brought up, like, you're Turkish, brought up in Germany. My family is Egyptian and Palestinian, brought up in Canada. Why do we have these common experiences? We don't share culture. We don't share the same culture.
We don't.
We share the same religion. So for people to say that these are just cultural issues and that they didn't have to do with the religion, well, then why are they happening in all of these different countries that do not share the language, do not share the food, do not share anything in common except for their religion? And even violence. When we talk about jihadis, people like to say, oh no, these are just bad men. They're not, it has nothing to do with religion. It's exactly the opposite. I mean, I'll talk about my ex specifically. With him, he was 14 years old, and for different reasons, he didn't get along with his peers at school. And so he was outcast. He was an outsider. And he was recruited by the jihadis to join, like, oh, don't worry about these boys. You're going to join us. You're going to be a real man. And you're going to go to, this level of heaven that these boys will never be able to go to, because you're going to be a jihadi and you're going to get 72 virgins and you're going to be hanging out with the prophets, drinking rivers of alcohol and honey and whatever. And they put all of these ideas into his head, and they made him think that murdering people is the best possible use of his life. He thought he was being good. He didn't think he was being evil. He thought that he was doing what's best for this planet. And why did he think that? Because of Islam.